The Mexican drug war is heating up in a city where the death toll is higher than Baghdad's. Mexican cartels are more than just narcotics dealers. They've taken control of dozens of Mexican cities. The 6 Mexican narcotics cartels dominate the U.S. illegal substances trade. Mexico's pillaging illegal substances trade is a threat to everything that Americans believe in. Tours through the war zone with ex-military and law enforcement agents who grew up in Mexico and can navigate the most dangerous areas. Narcotics, guns, and military equipment have long been vital to the cartel's supply chain. But in recent years, concerned authorities say a new trend is emerging. Mexican crime groups are increasingly becoming their manufacturers. Is it possible for Mexico to win its slow-moving narcotics war against the cartels? But before starting the video, please subscribe to our channel and press that bell icon to get all the latest updates. We're going to make more videos on interesting topics, so if you want to watch them, subscribe to them. Now let's get started. The Mexican government has been fighting a bloody war against various drug cartels for the better part of a decade and a half, with limited success. Since the government began the war on drug cartels in 2006, there's been more than 360,000 killings in the country. In this fight, the United States has formed a close partnership with its neighbor to the south, Mexico. To lessen the pressure for people to cross Mexico's southern border illegally, the United States has invested billions of dollars into the country's security forces, judicial system, and development projects as part of a joint effort with Mexico. Increasing the amount of surveillance and security along the border between the Mexico and the United States is another measure that the United States government has taken to reduce the number of illegal narcotics that enter the country. Which illicit substances do the cartels deal with? Mexican drug trafficking organizations are called transnational criminal organizations, and they also control most of the cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, marijuana, and methamphetamine imported and distributed in the United States. Mexican suppliers are responsible for the majority of heroin and methamphetamine manufacturing. Still, Colombian producers are responsible for most cocaine production, and Mexican criminal groups transport the cocaine from Colombia to the United States. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid up to 50 times stronger than heroin, is mainly produced in China and Mexico. Mexico is also a significant source of the drug. Between the years 2019 and 2020, the amount of fentanyl that was confiscated by Mexican authorities nearly quadrupled. Although marijuana is legal in some states and municipalities within the United States, narcotics cartels continue to smuggle large quantities of the substance into the country. On the other hand, the burgeoning cannabis industry in California has encouraged smugglers to bring marijuana grown in the United States across the border into Mexico, where authorities have not yet fully legalized the illegal substances. Which groups have gained the most power? The narcotics cartels in Mexico change all the time. Over the years, they've grown, split into smaller groups, made new alliances, and fought for territory. These cartels are considered to be the most dangerous of narcotics trafficking in the United States by the Drug Enforcement Administration of the United States, the Sinaloa cartel. To this day, Sinaloa remains one of Mexico's most infamous and powerful narcotics cartels. Previously, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman was at the helm. It dominates large portions of territory in about half of Mexico's states, particularly in the northwest along the Pacific coast and the southern and northern border regions. It also outperforms its Mexican rivals in as many as 50 international markets. Guzman was handed over to the United States in 2017 and is currently serving a life term for numerous narcotics-related offenses. President Joe Biden of the United States put sanctions on 8 group members in 2021. The group is now led by Ismael Zambada Garcia and El Chapo's sons, known as Los Chapitos, Jalisco cartel of the next generation. Sinaloa split into 2 parts in 2010, and Jalisco is now one of the fastest-growing cartels in Mexico. It has operations in more than 2/3 of the country. The DEA says that the group's rapid growth in narcotics trafficking is due to its willingness to get into violent confrontations with law enforcement and other cartels. Concerned authorities in the United States say that the CJNG supplies more than 1/3 of the market of illegal substances in the United States. Beltran Leyva Organization. When the Beltran Leyva brothers left Sinaloa in 2008, they started the group. Since then, all 4 brothers have been killed or jailed, but their followers are still active all over Mexico. The groups that broke off from the organization have become more independent and powerful, but they still have ties to Jalisco, Juarez, and Los Zetas. Los Zetas started as a paramilitary police force for the Gulf Cartel. In 2007, the DEA called them the country's most technologically advanced, sophisticated, and violent group of its kind. It broke off from the Gulf Cartel in 2010 and controlled parts of the eastern, central, and southern Mexico. In recent years, though, it's lost power and split into different groups, within the Northeast Cartel being the most well-known. Guerreros Unidos, based in southwestern Mexico, broke away from the BLO in 2009 and got involved in the heroin trade. People know that the group works with the CJNG and uses the same transportation networks to bring illegal substances into and out of the US. Gulf Cartel. Its power base in the northeastern Mexico, especially in the states of Tamaulipas and Zacatecas, and members of the CJNG are thought to be working with it there. In the last 10 years, the group is split into different groups, making it weaker as it fights with Los Zetos over territory. In 2021, 3 Gulf groups that were at war with each other announced that they'd reached a truce. They said that they wanted to keep peace in Tamaulipas. Juarez Cartel. Sinaloa has been a rival of Juarez for a long time. Juarez is based in the north-central state of Chihuahua, across the border from New Mexico and in Texas. In recent years, the group is split into several parts, one of which is La Lena, which is in charge of law enforcement on the streets. La Familia Michoacana. LFM was started in the 1980s and is based in Michoacan State in western part of Mexico. Under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designations Act, the U.S. President Barack Obama said in 2009 that group members were significant foreign narcotics traffickers and put financial sanctions on them. Even though LFM is still going, it's weakened and split up over the past few years. Los Rojos. Los Rojos is another group that broke off from the BLO. They mostly use kidnapping and extortion to make money in central and southwestern Mexico. Even though some of its leaders were arrested between 2019 and 2020, the group is still active. Along with Guerreros Unidos, it's been linked to 2014 disappearance and murder of 43 students from a university in Guerrero State. How dangerous is it? Even though narcotics gangs caused not all murders in Mexico, the fact that the number of murders is going up shows the crisis. The U.S. Center for Strategic and International Studies says that between 2008 and 2017, about 230,000 people were killed in the country. That's more than twice as many as in the 10 years before. There were 33,341 murders in 2018. That's up from 29,168 from the year before. 13 years ago, people from the La Baron community who stood up to local narcotics cartels were kidnapped and killed. The recent murder of the American family happened at the same time. It's unclear if people who attacked the Mormon family did so on purpose.